Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today's going to be a video that's going to kind of follow the last video I did. Now, the last video that I did was more of a short video to show kind of how I planted the seeds. I wanted to cram as much information in there as possible and keep it short. So what I left out is the type of seeds that I planted, so I wanted to cover that today. So let me show you what I planted in the last video. Now it's been about 5 days and we've gotten some really good germination. And what I've done, you can see way back in there, these are the spinach, the only spinach so far that have germinated, and they might be the only ones that germinate. I've been having a real issue with getting spinach to grow. And way in the back is my peppers. This is what's left of the onions starting to germinate, and we've got my bunching onions there. And hopefully you can see them, but we've got some really cute little snapdragons starting to come up. Now we'll go over the varieties of these in a little bit. I just wanted to show you that there are some that have germinated and some that have not. The ones that have not germinated still have a dome on them. Anything that has germinated already, I've taken out and put on another flat that's on a self-watering tray. So we'll go over these varieties in just a minute. So as I've said in some past videos, I am in Utah, which I think is around zone 6. Some people say zone 7, and I kind of feel like we're more a zone 5, but we're going to say 6 to be in the middle. My last frost date is around May 15th. It can be a little bit later some years, a little bit earlier others. So what I've started right now in mid-February is the cool weather crops. So let me show you what I have here. So the first one is kale. So this is a cold hardy kale mixture that I got from Snake River Seeds. Now I'm really excited about these. So Snake River Seeds is supposedly a co-op of farmers that are from Idaho. And what they've done with this kale is any kale that survives their cold winters, they save the seeds from and then put them in this mix. So this is a mix of kale that is supposedly really hardy, and I'm excited to try that. I have been harvesting those indoors and they've been really tasty. It's just a mix of kale that I've grown separately in the past. So the next thing that I have is scarlet kale from Baker Creek. Now I like scarlet kale just because of the color. So we're going to have this so that we can have a little touch of color in my garden. And I can probably also use this out in the front yard. Well, not probably. And I can definitely use this out in the front yard as an ornamental and edible vegetable. Now the next thing that I'm growing is something that is really new to me. This is cauliflower. I've never grown cauliflower before, but I eat a lot of it. And I decided that I wanted a mix of colors. Now, as you notice, I have the white, the green, and the purple, but I don't have the yellow yet. I did order some seeds for that, and we'll plant some of those when they get here. Now, I definitely have planted too much cauliflower. This one is the purple. This one right here is the green. And here's the white. Now I figure what I can do is I can give extras away to neighbors, or maybe I can find some places in the front yard to plant my extras. So the next thing that I planted is my cabbage. This is the Copenhagen Early. My cabbage is right here. And I probably need to actually start another flat of cabbage. I usually put 2 or 3 seeds in each part of my little containers. And that way, if I get more come up, then I can actually transplant those out into bigger pots and have more cabbage. If I plant too many, like with the cauliflower, I will just thin those out. So I'm going to need to plant more cabbage. The cauliflower, I'm going to have to find more spots for it or give them away to friends. The next thing that I have in this spot right here is sorrel. Now sorrel is new to me in Utah, but I grew it when I lived in California and really loved it. So I do have a lot of sorrel that came up. The germination on that was excellent, so we're going to definitely have to find more homes for these. I really think I only want 3, maybe 4 sorrels in my backyard. In this pot right here, I have kohlrabi, and I really love this variety. This is called Super Schmeltz. Don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but I absolutely love it. The tubers, the bulbs get absolutely huge. They get about this big, and they're not woody inside. They're very sweet. Now, the one thing that I have been a little bit disappointed with kohlrabi is it is cold hardy, And I thought that I could overwinter it in my hoop houses. You know, the cabbage does fine, the regula does fine, you know, kale does beautifully in there. But the kohlrabi tends to get really pithy inside over the winter. So that one's one that I'm gonna have to just not grow over the winter, and I'll just have to do my early spring crop. I'm gonna be splitting these up. You can see how well they germinated, but I'm gonna need to be splitting these up and putting them in more pots. The other thing that I love about kohlrabi is the leaves taste really good. So you can harvest the leaves and the bulbs. So it's a dual purpose brassica. The next thing is one that I've talked about a lot, and this is chijimisai. It's a mixture between bok choy and tatsoi. And it's a newer one from Baker Creek, and I've absolutely loved it. Now I use this one like I use spinach, which is really good because my spinach, you saw the germination on my spinach, and that hasn't been great. So I may actually just give up on trying to grow spinach anymore and just continue to grow this. Now the last two are ones that I definitely grow a lot of, and these are the rainbow chard. And this is the seed from M.I. Gardner that I bought 2 years ago, still going through it. Germination is always excellent on it. So I usually like to try to have a mix of all the colors out in the yard. So I do split these up. As you can see, there's several different colors in each one of these cells. And I'll split those up and probably keep all of them. So that's what I have growing in this tray. Let me get another tray and show you what I have in there. Now in this tray, I have some exciting things. First one that I wanted to show you is one I'm really proud of. This is my stevia. I don't know if you can see the little babies in there that have just sprouted. Stevia is absolutely wonderful as a sweetener, and I've always bought plants every year and just grown them from starts. This is the first time I've tried seeds, and from what I've heard, they have a very low germination rate. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with I think a new little one starting. So 7 seeds out of probably 50 that I put in there. So I guess that is a low germination rate. I spread a lot of them over the tray just so that I could get some germinating, and it looked like it worked. Another fun one I don't have the seed packet for, but this is lime balm. Now we've all heard of lemon balm, and I had not heard of lime balm. And when I was looking for my stevia seeds, I did find this in Strictly Medicinals. And I was really excited about it. So I'm planting that, and I'm going to see how well that works. Supposedly it smells really good and grows just as well as lemon balm. So I'm excited about that one. Now I planted a bunch of peppers. Peppers are slow to germinate, but these are my banana peppers, and they have fully germinated in about 5 days. So I'm really excited about my banana peppers. I use a lot of those. I definitely can them, and I use them in cooking. Now for the onions. Now my onions have had spotty germination. I usually plant Spanish sweet white, Spanish sweet yellow, a red variety, and bunching onions. So what has germinated really well is the Spanish sweet white, and I'm going to leave these to grow in the larger pots. What I do is I plant them all together in these pots, and then when it's time to plant them out in the garden, I will separate them out from this pot and put them in the garden bed, and that works really well. That's basically how they grow the seedling starts that you get at the nursery. So this one, this is a new one. It's supposed to be a good one for cool weather climates. This is from Baker Creek, and it's called Southern Red Globe. So I'm excited to try this one, and it had excellent germination on this one. This one is also just a Spanish sweet white. I try to plant 2 of each varieties except for the red because I don't use as many of the red onions. So let's get another tray and show you what else has not germinated yet. Now I'm not usually a pepper grower, but lately, last year I grew more, and this year I've definitely got a lot more varieties. Now I know I don't grow anywhere near the amount of that some of you do, but this is slowly expanding my repertoire of peppers, and I wanted to show you what I've got. Now the first one, I'm not really a hot pepper person, so I've split these pots into cells. So this side is a hatch pepper, and this side is going to be the jalapeno. So the jalapeno has almost fully started, but the hatch pepper has not started yet at all. So I'm a little worried about that because I've got to keep these under the dome until the hatch pepper germinates. Now, as you notice, the jalapenos are starting to get a little leggy because they don't like to be under the domes and they need to be closer to the light. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to work that. Now the hatch pepper is one that I got from my sister. So she saved some seeds and we're just going to see if we can get those to grow. Now I know they're a hot pepper, so they are going to take a little bit longer to germinate. Now the next group, this side right here, is my regular bell pepper. That's just a California Wonder. And then this side is my paprika that I grow every year. And I really love this paprika. I get this one from Turtle Tree Seeds. Now the next one looks like it's going to be a great pepper for me. It's a sweet pepper. It's called Antohi Romanian pepper. And the germination looks like it's going to be really good on these. They're all starting to come up. These will come out from under the dome as soon as the rest of them have germinated. So as you can see, there they are. Now the last pepper variety is also almost all the way germinated, and this is going to be an orange variety called Doe Hill. It's also a sweet pepper, so we'll see how well those do. But this one will be coming out from under the dome in just as soon as this last little one pops up and all of these little first leaves open up. Now the seedlings on this side have not germinated yet, and I think they're going to take a little bit longer. The first one is my artichoke. And we have a little seedling right here, but I don't think that's an artichoke seedling. So we're going to have to see how long it takes for these to germinate. This next one I'm really excited about. It's called ashwagandha. You actually use the root. It's a tender tropical perennial, but they say in temperate climates like mine, you can use it as an annual. So you harvest the root, dry it out, powder it up, and use it in teas. And I've been using it a lot lately, and I really enjoy it. So I was wanting to see if I could actually grow that at my own house. And the last one we've gone over is the spinach. So as I've said, my spinach has not germinated well. I've been using the Bloomsdale Longstanding. I have heard you can improve the germination rates by actually putting them in a paper towel and then in a plastic bag, germinating the seeds that way, and then transplanting them into the pots. So I don't know if I'm really actually going to try that. I may just scrap the whole idea of spinach and just keep with the chichimisai. Now these are my onions with the low germination rates. These are the Spanish sweet yellow, and I'm actually wondering if the germination rate on these are so low because I was using last year's seeds. Supposedly onion seeds lose their viability really quickly, so we're just going to keep trying and see how many more come up. Last of all, we have my everlasting bunching onions. Looks like we've got some good germination on those, and I'm excited about that. Now last of all are my cute little snapdragons. Now there's a wholesale grower that had a sale on seeds. So I've got, these two are both Potomac varieties. There's the apple blossom on this side and the yellow on this side. And I definitely grow snapdragons every year. I usually just buy starts. So I wanted to see how hard it was to try them by seed. The seedlings are extremely tiny, so I just broadcast them over the top of these pots, and I'll separate them out and put them in different pots if I need to. Otherwise, I'll just separate them out and put them out in my yard. Now I wanted to show you just one last thing before I ended this video. I'm doing an experiment with winter sowing. Now I didn't cover that in a video because I'm new to it and I just wanted to see how it works. But I just want to go over really quick what I have here. This is Self-Heal. It's an herb, a low-growing herb that I absolutely love, and I will go over Self-Heal. I think I'm going to do a plant of the week video on Self-Heal if I can get that to germinate. These are artichokes, so I'm just trying to find out if they are better winter sowers or if they're better started indoors. We have some more of the Potomac apple blossom snapdragons in here. We have the Potomac yellow snapdragons in here. I have some forget-me-nots in here. This one is going to be some shiso, and I'm going to sow more of that indoors later in the spring. I've got some alyssum, and I don't know why I did this because I actually have a ton of alyssum that self-seeds itself all over my property, but I absolutely love it, so we're just trying it for winter sowing. We have some oriental poppies. I don't think I'm going to try growing any of those indoors. We'll see. it's an experiment that I'm doing with these. I'm trying them with winter sowing, and then I also threw a bunch out in my front yard just to see if they'll start growing on their own and to kind of see which method is better for growing these. And I also am winter sowing some sorrel. Obviously, as you can see, it's really cold out here. And none of these have germinated yet. Matter of fact, these pots have pretty much stayed frozen since I've put them out here. I have not had to water them yet, and I sowed them mid-January, so it's been about 4 weeks. And they're doing really well in this spot. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing a little bit about the seeds that I've started. And I'm really interested to hear what you've started already. I know different zones are able to start different plants. It's really hard to wait, but I'm really excited that I've gotten to start some of my early spring crops. Hopefully I didn't start them too early, and hopefully the weather will cooperate and I can get them out when I want to get them out. I'm hoping to plant most of these out in mid-March. So I gave it about 4 weeks. I can go all the way to the end of March because that'll be 6 weeks if I wait till the end of March. But anyway, spring is coming. I'm really excited. I hope you're excited too and starting seeds. If you've enjoyed my videos, please like and subscribe and go have a wonderful garden adventure.